Jay.
Dietrich, how are you? Good to see you.
Fine, thank you.
I made it. Thank you for helping me out. I know you're a model train enthusiast, and I really need help finding a gift for my son.
I will try to help you, but have a look here on the development of the model railways from Märklin. They are making these trains since more than 100 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yes, that's right. Let's take a look on two models here. This is a model from the 70s and compare that to the one from the 80s.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously there's more detail in the 80s, but there's one thing I really noticed, Dietrich, is that the one from the 80s is actually smaller than the one from the 70s.
Yes,
is
that's
that
right.
Is that a good thing?
Yes, this follows exactly the HO scale.
Oh, so you mean in the 70s they had to make it a little bigger because that's the best they could do, but somehow in the 80s they could actually make it more true to scale, which is what you want.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm proud to say this was supported by Zeiss.
How was that supported by Zeiss?
In the 80s, Märklin bought their first CMM from Zeiss.
Really? So they have a Zeiss CMM here?
Yes.
Oh man, I'd like to see that. Hey measuring hero, Jay here. Today we're in Göppingen, which to give you scale is about an hour away from our facility in Oberkochen. We're going to visit the facility of Märklin, who are best known for their authentic train reproductions, mostly made out of zinc die cast. Anyway, they're gonna let us walk around and watch their facility, so let's go have a look. Good to see you. Thank you for your explanation. Michael, danke für Ihre Erklärung.
Of course, Jay. My name is Michael Ludwig. I'm a master manufacturer in production for the company Märklin. And we are currently at the start of production of our model railway parts in the zinc die casting foundry. Here we have a die cast zinc mold. In the die-cast zinc mold, a finished model is produced from the corresponding raw material, from these zinc bars. The zinc is melted and shot into shape at 420 degrees Celsius. With a piston pressure of several tons, the mold fills up within a few milliseconds. And after the liquid cools, it becomes solid, and the component is then removed from the mold, which is fairly complicated and a very complex technology. As you can see how delicately detailed the surface is, all details are accordingly already engraved in the mold. Here we have a bigger part. Die-cast zinc can also be processed in small components. In here you can see one of the smaller parts, which is a coupling. From the largest part to the smallest part, Märklin manufactures almost all of its components from die-cast zinc. If you like, we can walk through the production and take a look at the individual machines. Would you like to join us, Jay? So, now we are in the foundry. The part I showed you before is mounted on this machine. With this machine, the mold will produce the lower part of the chassis, where later the gear and axles are assembled. And here you can see how the component with the gate system comes out of the mold. So, now we have finished parts. The extraction system, the handling system controlled by the most modern robot technology, removes the still hot component from the mold and places it on a cooling belt. so that the component can be handled by hand later at room temperature. So, here we find ourselves in the die-cast machining department. The machines in the background here are used to finish the surface, drill the holes, and deburr the edges. This is all automated. The colleague simply inserts the components and then checks after viewing whether all the tools are correctly set. If you want, we can take a closer look. By means of the CNC automatically changing the tools, it is possible to complete several operations in one clamping. So, here we are in the final coloring. This is where our models get their final optical touch. I would like to show you exactly what is involved. Here is the chassis housing, an E10, an ironing fold. All color layers are already applied here with all different color layers. And you can see here the printing, which we apply in a pad printing process. And of course, this is very detailed. We make fonts down to 1/10 of a millimeter that you can still read under a magnifying glass.
No way. Entschuldigung.
Hallo.
Mein Name ist Jay. Ich arbeite bei Zeiss. My name is Jay. I work at Zeiss, and this is a very special machine for us. Is it okay if I ask you some questions?
Yes, hello, Jay. Of course.
How long have you been working with this machine?
I've been working with this machine for at least 25 years.
Oh, wow. And how old is this machine?
About 35 years or 40 years.
40 years, wow. How is it working with the machine?
I have been working with this machine for 25 years, and it has actually been with me for half my working life.
And you still measure, it still works real parts today?
I've measured much smaller parts and also larger parts, even much larger parts.
Wow. What is it like working with a machine this old, this UMM 500?
When working with this machine, there is, of course, a lot of mechanics involved, which can be quite demanding. You have to look carefully exactly where you are working and have to pay attention to quite a lot, and therefore, it is a big challenge.
Do you ever dream of a new machine, or?
Yes,
Yeah.
as a successor, I could really imagine that CISO Inspect.
I know that machine very well. I've been working with it for years and years now. It's a very good choice. Thank you for letting me intrude and see you work here. Dankeschön.
Please, you're welcome.
Tschüssle.
Ciao.
You look lost. Can I help you?
We're just looking around and trying to look and learn about the production of Märklin trains. Okay, Dankeschön for showing us this production line.
With pleasure. I hope you enjoyed your visit.
Appreciate it. Okay, ciao. We hope you enjoyed our little production tour of Märklin. My highlight was to see an actual working UMM 500 working to this day. Right now, I have to go get a train set for my son because his birthday is rapidly approaching. So I'm gonna get out of here. We'll see you next Thursday.